Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here. But we still have a little bit more music to talk about this year, guys, before 2019 comes to an end. And I have to say that I was very excited about this specific video because the two albums that I'm talking about today were actually a truly big surprise. I didn't even know that they were coming out, and if it wasn't for finding out about one specific album, I wouldn't have actually done a random search to find out that the other album that I'm talking about today happened to be released around the same time as well. But I am going to go in the order that these albums were actually released, and I'm really excited to talk about them. So the first album is the sixth release from the best thing to come out of Ireland since the Cranberries in the world of music, and that, of course, is the Scripts album, Sunsets and Full Moons. The Script is a really good band overall. I really appreciate their musicianship, and I absolutely love their song styles. It's definitely something different that you really don't get much of in music today. And they have been really giving us some excellent albums. I really loved the album that came before this one. It was definitely one of their best since their second. But Sunsets and Full Moons, while it is not the best album, it is definitely a very good listen. I would probably say that if I was going to rank my favorite albums of the Script, this one would probably be number 3 in my top 3. And the reason why is, it's not because of the fact that they're really giving us anything fresh in terms of new kinds of innovative styles of music. Rather, it is the song lyrics in this album that are just so extremely deep. Songs like Run Through Walls, which is a story about friends doing anything for other good friends. You Don't Love Yourself, which is basically something that I have been saying to people for so many years. You can't love somebody else until you truly love yourself. And probably one of the most powerful songs in this album is Hurt People, which is actually going into the inner minds of bullies, which I think is a very, very powerful song. There's also some feel-good songs like the last track, which is Hot Summer Nights, and probably the worst song on this album is actually their single, and it's called Underdog. It's a powerful and motivational song, but I just feel that the chorus gets a little stale and repetitive after a while of listening to this album. But it is still definitely one of the best offerings of 2019, a great listen, definitely one of the better albums that the Script has had to offer us in a while. And the next album that we're going to talk about is one that I was so nervous and excited about all the same time, and it is the long-awaited return of Coldplay with their new album, Everyday Life, which is actually a very interesting thing. A double album called Sunrise and Sunset, but the double album is only one disc. So it's kind of interesting and clever, and it is definitely one of the most beautiful that I've seen because it comes in this little booklet, which I think is really, really nice, with beautiful artwork as well as other nice little goodies like lyrics and stuff like that. But I was very curious to know what Coldplay was going to offer after their small hiatus, and also because of the fact that their last two albums were liked by some, but not liked by others. And quite frankly, I don't really know what to say entirely about this album because it's not bad, but it's not great either. There are definitely some highlights in this album. Probably my favorite song in this album is Daddy, just because of the deepness of the story within the lyrics and the extreme melancholy sound of the music, but there's a lot of innovative experimentation in this album, and it's really hard to determine where Coldplay is going to be going in terms of making their music in future albums. They definitely take a lot from different cultures of music. You definitely hear that in the song Arabesque. There's also a very interesting song called Echo, which is very short. One of the other things that was very interesting about this album is some of these songs are very, very quick. Like, it's a double album, but it is less than a half an hour of a listen, which is a little bit strange to me. And you also even have a song like Cry, 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 which takes on a 1950s sound, like Earth Angel by the Penguins. So there's a lot of inner beauty in this album, if you will, but it's not as it is going to blow people away. There's a lot of negative reviews revolving around this album, and maybe it's just because of the fact that this is not necessarily something that the fans were expecting, but I'm someone who always praises innovation and experimentation, because it's always great to listen to an album from a singer or a band that you love and not necessarily get the exact same thing that you did in the previous album. I mean, when Paramore made After Laughter, a lot of Paramore fans loved the direction that the band was taking. And for this one, I'm really surprised that it's pretty much in the middle at this point in time. But it's not terrible. There are definitely some good things here. But overall, I guess it just takes a little bit of time getting used to it. But I would definitely say give it a listen, because it's getting me very curious as to where Coldplay will go in the future, if this is in fact the starting point of the next stage of Coldplay's musical career, because the first decade of the 2000s, they pretty much were the best act of the decade. They gave us incredible albums, won a whole bunch of Grammys, and a lot of their songs are extremely memorable. They've gone down as some of the greatest songs in history, like Viva La Vida, or Clocks, or Yellow. These are all legendary songs now. So I'm really curious as to what will happen with Coldplay in the coming years in the next decade. So that's it, everybody. 2 new albums for you guys to talk about and enjoy. Please leave comments in the box below. Let me know if you have listened to either or both or neither of these albums, and we can always talk about it. And I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.